Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Midgard Golf. And we're out here today in North Plains, Oregon, just outside of Portland, Oregon, playing one of the more fabled courses, I would say, in the area. This is Ghost Creek at Pumpkin Ridge. So there's actually two courses here. The other course, the private side, is Witch Hollow, or Witch's Hollow, something like that. But anyway, I've actually never played that course before, naturally, but this is obviously the second time that I've played this course. If you noticed some of the content from the first time I was out here from the Midgard channel intro clip. So anyway, we're out here today playing a little 4-ball Scramble tournament. So my stepdad there, Tim, he's playing with us, his company there, Channel 2 News up in Portland, Oregon, and kind of up and down the West Coast, I believe. So they sponsor this tournament, so he got us in. And I'm playing with him and one of his coworkers and good buddies, Justin, and then my Uncle Glenn Bob, who's pretty much been in my life forever. So a pretty special round on a magnificent and very special course, that's for sure. This is actually the venue where Tiger Woods won the U.S. Amateur back in 1996. And then, there were several other tournaments held here. The 97 U.S. Women's Open was held here, won by Allison Nicholas. The U.S. Girls Junior, won by Lisa Ferrero. The 2000 U.S. Junior Amateur, won by Matthew Rosenfeld. The 2003 U.S. Women's Open, won by Hillary Lunke. And the 2006 U.S. Women's Amateur, won by Kimberly Kim. So, yeah. Lots of action on this course over the years, that's for sure. So, anyway, the tournament has us going off the white tees here, so that's 2 up. We're playing the course at 5,882 yards, so relatively short, but no doubt it's a tough course, so we've got our work cut out for us anyway, that's for sure. And they've got us teeing off on the second hole, so we missed it by 1 hole. We almost got to play this course for you and vlog it in its natural form, but we will be 1 hole off of that. So this first part will be 2 through 10, and then part 2 will be 11 through 1. So, for this second hole here, we're staring down a 364-yard par 4, and that's the number 5 handicap on the course. So, modestly tough to start out the day here, and as we approach the tee box here, you'll see that, not a whole lot of room to miss either direction. You've got tree trouble in both ways, but if you smoke one down there far enough, there's adjacent fairway on both sides. So all you got to do is pretty much, punch one down there and get it to go straight at least for a little while, and then you can miss a little bit after that. So not that big of a deal. Although, regardless of the way that you miss, if you do, then you're going to have some tree trouble to get up on this green. Other than that, it's a pretty straightforward hole. The green cants a little bit to the left once you get down there, but really nothing to be all that concerned about. And so far as bunker trouble is concerned, you've got a few bunkers early, both left and right side. And then just at the end of the fairway, also left and right side. And then up green side, you've only got one kind of long left. So that's pretty much all you got to worry about here. No water, no hazards like that. So just trees and sand. That's all you got to worry about. So without further ado, I got the driver in hand. Let's give it a rip and see what we can do on this gorgeous second hole that we're playing as our first. Let's check it out. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the third hole that we're, of course, playing as our second. Just a little par 3 for us this day. Only 128 yards for us. But yeah, it tips out at 184 yards, so pretty lengthy for the size of the green here. Pretty small green, that's for sure. And this is the number 13 handicap on the course. So as you look at it, obviously not a whole lot to worry about. Pretty stock standard, bunker on either side. But yeah, if that pin is tucked up to the back left, yeah, that's definitely a tough shot, and that's exactly where the pin is this day. So unfortunate. So far as the miss is concerned, you have a little bit more room to miss left than right, but it'll certainly be a tough shot if you're over there. Yeah, a lot more green to work with if you're over there off to the right side, but you have less room to miss, so there's that. So far as long or short, I would definitely rather miss short here. So yeah, if you end up on that kind of native fescue grass off there to the back, then that's going to be a really tough shot back onto the screen. I am betting that you would rather chip uphill than try to chip downhill out of that stuff. So yeah, anyway, I have the gap wedge in hand. Just trying to float one up there and hit it nice and soft. Let's see what we can do on this hole. Let's check it out. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the fourth hole that we're playing as our third and our first par 5 of the day. Playing for us at only 495 yards and tipping out at just 533, so pretty stock standard, I would say. Even maybe a little short, some might say as well. But it's the number 7 handicap on this course, so yeah, kind of run of the mill, right in the middle there. And yeah, I'd probably agree with that so far as the ranking is concerned. So for the shape of the hole, it's a dogleg left and pretty narrow fairway, that's for sure. But yeah, if you can hit a really pretty draw over the right side, then you'll probably be sitting real nice to try to get home in 2. But if you curve it a little too hard and go off to the left, off the fairway to the left that is, then that death slope down there is going to put you in a really awkward position to try to come up and put one even, I mean, close or in a good position for attack range on your third shot. So I would definitely prefer to be on the right side of this fairway. That's for sure. And since I'm pretty much just hitting fades right now for the most part still, that's good news for me. Let's see here. After the first shot, then you really don't have a whole lot of, you don't have bunker trouble really at all until you get up to the green. There's a couple of bunkers off to the left and then one tucked in deep to the back. And the green is just surrounded by really thick trees, so it's definitely something that you're going to want to stab. But once you crest this hill that you can see right out here from the tee box, the rest of the hill kind of plays a little downhill, so you get some help so far as perceived yardage on into the green after you make it through that little peak in the middle of the fairway there. So, without further ado, got the driver in hand. Let's give it a rip and see what we can do on this magnificent par 5. Let's check it out.
Nailed it! Yeah, for the birdie sauce. Got to love it. Are you gonna put one just because? Get in, do it! Oh, Tim makes it too! It's going down no matter what. Alright. Are you gonna go for it too? Just see? See if we can all make the birdie?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta wait for them anyways. Two birdies, that should be an eagle birdie. Three birdies.
Look at this! It was going
Man, was that
down no
easy?
matter what. No matter what. Sick. 4.
All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 5th hole. And another par 3 for us here. Although this one, yeah, significantly longer than the last. For us playing at 179 yards and tipping out at 218. So, yeah, but that said, it's definitely a much larger green than the last one, that's for sure. And yeah, pretty much nothing to worry about apart from those 2 bunkers over there off to the left and in front of the green. You got plenty of backboard support too, so I would say step on it, man. Like, unless you really rip one and just completely misjudge the yardage, you're probably not going to have that bad of a chip coming back down onto the screen from the back. However, there's a pretty generous amount of fairway length grass leading up to the green too, so you're definitely going to be okay if you miss short as well. I mean, you just pick whatever club you want, whatever shot you feel like, braving for the next one if you happen to miss distance-wise. So far as left or right is concerned, you got a little bit of sideboard support if you miss barely to the right, but past that, you've got the fence to the course, and if you really carve one out there to the right, then you might be having a lost ball just because, well, that fence will be in your way. But carving one hard out to the left, a little snap hook action, will put you in the thick trees, and your ball's probably going there too. But I mean, it's a par 3, and for us, only 80 yards basically, and basically 220 if you're playing from the tips. So, regardless of your skill level, the yardage shouldn't scare you that much. So, I believe I had the 6-iron in hand, actually, this day, since I've been missing everything pretty short, just kind of swiping at everything, hitting everything pretty weak. So, yeah, clubbing up for me, that is. But, anyway, let's give it a rip and see what we can do. I'm going to go for that little cut, aiming kind of just right of the bunkers and attempting to let it fade back in from there. So, let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading out to the sixth hole, which we're obviously playing as our fifth. So the number 9 handicap on this course, and I think I forgot to mention the last hole, that par 3, was the number 15 handicap on the course. So, but this one playing for us at 316 yards and tipping out at 366. So, yeah, pretty run-of-the-mill, I'd say. That's for sure. But, yeah, so this hole here is the first introduction to any flavor of water hazard on the course here, with this little creek that runs up the right side of the hole. So you've got that to worry about on that side. And then off to the left there, you've got a collection of bunkers that pretty much runs the entire length of the fairway all the way up to the green. And once you get up to the green, then you've got one giant bunker that's kind of to the front left of the green there with a little grass island in it, kind of neato. And yeah, that's pretty much all you got to worry about here. I mean, the fairway to me here, yeah, wide enough to hit driver, I'd say. So that's what I am going for. I'm just going to try to gain as much yardage as I can, and then, yeah, have a nice little easy shot up onto this green. That's pretty inviting, I'd say. You've got a tiny bit of backboard support off the back of the green, but not a whole lot. But, yeah, outside of that, as long as you get a fair amount of yardage off this tee box, you really shouldn't have a problem attacking this green with basically any shape that you want. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the seventh hole and the number one handicap on this course. And yeah, I think that's pretty well earned, I should say. It's a 384-yard par 4 for us today, tipping out at 431. So pretty lengthy, no doubt. But yeah, and the shape of the hole here, we got, no, I wouldn't really call it a dogleg left. It's more of like a slanted left sort of hole. But from the tee box angle, it certainly feels like a dogleg, that's for sure. And you've got the really big bunker right in front of you that you're staring down with the giant fescue kind of grass islands in the middle of it. And then two more bunkers thereafter that you're going to have to clear if you're wanting to have a short shot on the green. And once you do get up there to your green approach, you're going to have two more bunkers that guard the green in front to both the left and right of it. So, yeah, a lot to consider here. And of course, with the tree line on both sides of the hole, yeah, that just adds some more difficulty. So, words to the wise. Yeah, a little foreshadowing here. If I was you, miss left. Just pull one. Just what I did is, I just aimed right over those bunkers and I said, man, okay, the hole's to the left there. I'm just going to try to yank one as hard as I can and just pound it. And if you can nuke one and put it all the way down there, then your angle on the green should be actually pretty inviting. There's a couple of trees over there that you might get behind, and if that happens, well, I'm sorry for you. But it will certainly shave off a ton of yardage on this hole, that's for sure. If you go to the left of the bunkers and just eat it, being in the rough as opposed to a fairway lie. So, yeah, that said, that's pretty much it. That's my strategy for playing this hole. Try to keep it to the left and go left of the bunkers and just nuke it. But yeah, if you're kind of hitting fades and nothing but, like I usually am, then nothing wrong with aiming at the left side of those bunkers over there and letting it flow back into the fairway. You're just going to have a much longer shot onto this green, that's for sure. So, let's give it a rip and see what we can do on what they call the hardest hole on this course. Let's check it out. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 8th hole that we're, of course, playing as our 7th today. So they've got this hole carded as the number 17 handicap, and I'm not so sure that I agree with that, but, well, that's how they've got it ranked, so it is what it is. Now, it's a par 5, and for us it's only playing at 462 yards, so relatively short by today's standards, I'd say, but it tips out at 573, so, I mean, that's fairly lengthy. And when you stack that on top of the fact that it's not the widest fairway in the world, yeah, to me, you've got a little more difficult hole than the number 17 handicap. So, yeah, my opinion. Anyway, but so far as the shape of the hole goes here, so it's a little bit of a dog leg right, but I mean, just slightly. I mean, it just sort of like curves to the right gently. So it's generally pretty straight there. Obviously, you've got tree line off in the distance that skirts the left side of the fairway, and then more trees off to the right. So you got trees on both sides. So far as bunker trouble goes, you've got a couple of bunkers near right, and then one kind of in the middle of the fairway to the left. Then another one right towards the end of the fairway to the right, and then one lone bunker that guards the green off to the front right side of it. So, yeah, once you crest pretty much what you can see off the tee box here, the remainder of the hole goes pretty downhill. So that shortens the hole even more, I'd say. So far as the good miss here, well, missing right is definitely safer, and you're more likely to find your ball over there. But if you can hug that left side, that's going to be your best angle to try to get on the green in two. So, yeah, just kind of pick what you trust in that day and see what you can do about, giving it your best to, I don't know, give yourself a best second shot. Because you're going to have a decision to make. Do you want to play it safer off to the right side there, just kind of hit a little cut? Or do you want to risk snapping one into the trees, but potentially be rewarded with having an angle to try to smoke one down on this green? Especially at its downhill position down there. So, it is what it is. Your call. I've got the driver in hand, and, well, I'm just going to let it cut. So, let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the ninth hole and the number 3 handicap on this course, and I think that's pretty well earned, honestly. It's a 419-yard par 4 for us, tipping out at 469. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, it's probably pretty far downhill. Yeah, not really. I mean, it's a little downhill off the tee box, slightly, but yeah, generally it's pretty flat. And you've got a giant lake that starts a pretty, I guess, fair way down the fairway. And then it will continue on the left side of the hole for the remainder of it. And then to add insult to injury, that lake has a little bit of creek, or a little creek action, I guess I should say, that spurs off of it and cuts the hole in half all the way down there as well. So you really have to be judicious about what club you're going to play in order to stay shy of that. Because, yeah, for whatever tee box you're playing versus your skill level, you're probably not clearing that creek there. So I would not flirt with it. I would just stay shy of it if I was you. So far as the miss location, well, if you would rather clear that lake as opposed to have it be along your left side for your approach shot, then I would go right at it over there up to the left. And yeah, put yourself situated right in front of it and just maybe, get the yardage if you got a yardage book or a laser finder or something, GPS, something to tell you how far that lake is, and just stay, 15 yards short of it or something like that. And then you'll have some forced clearance to get up on that green with some nice backdrop. As opposed to if you miss to the right, well, okay, now you'll have a more clear shot on the green so far as forced clearance is concerned. But then if you happen to pull one, now you're in the drink. So, yeah, pick your poison so far as the shot you would prefer to have in the way of dealing with that water for your approach shot. Let's see here. Outside of that, so far as bunker trouble is concerned, you've got a couple of bunkers off to the left there as you approach the giant lake off to the left, just left of the fairway. And then you've got one lone bunker off to the back right of the green, and that's pretty much it. Now, if you do happen to miss hard left, you have adjacent fairway next to you on hole number 1. So you'll be just fine over there if you do happen to carve one. But if you happen to snap hook one, then you've got the edge of the course itself to your left, and then a whole lot of nastiness that you're definitely not going to want to play with. So there's that. So, without further ado, kind of challenging hole over here. Let's give it a rip and see what we can do on this 9th hole. Let's check it out. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 10th hole. And as we're playing this as our 9th hole, of course, this is our final hole for this first part of this two-part series out here on Ghost Creek at Pumpkin Ridge in North Plains, Oregon. So thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Midgard Golf with us. And smash that like and subscribe button if you would, if you're liking this content. And of course, we're going to be continuing to do more giveaways as time goes on. And that's going to continue to be hats until 1,000 subscribers. And then I think I'm doing shirts thereafter. And once we hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm looking at vessel bags, golf bags that is, to give away after that. So hit that subscribe button. I'm going to keep giving away more cool stuff. So this 10th hole here, that's our 9th hole. So it's a par 5, number 16 handicap on the course. Pretty short, I would say. It's only playing for us at 453 yards and tips out at 492. So pretty short by all standards, I would say. So number 16 handicap, yeah, I definitely agree with that. So far as the miss side goes, absolutely I'd prefer to miss to the right, as you've got the number 1 hole off to the right. So if you really carve one out there, then you're probably just going to find yourself on number 1, and then you can smack it back in from there. Not a big deal. Off to the left, you've got a whole bunch of native fescue out in those little rolling hills, and you're definitely not going to want to be messing around with those. That said, there are 10 bunkers on this hole here, and most of them are down the left side. So you've got one lone bunker off to the right side of the fairway, and then to the left side of the fairway, kind of mid-long range, you've got 4 of them. Well, 5 of them with this little tiny baby one that I can see on the map here. And yeah, so if you get enough distance off of a draw shape, which draw shape shots tend to go longer anyway, then you might find yourself in those bunkers instead of that crabgrass that you're definitely not going to want to be messing with, and then at least you'll be safe. Let's see here. After that, and those bunkers are over off to the left there, you'll run into a little creek that kind of squiggles its way from low right to upper left as you approach the green from there. So yeah, a little bit of a water hazard to deal with. So not fun. And then you've got kind of a split fairway also that runs on either side of that creek. So you've really got no business going to the left side of the creek because, well, the green's nowhere near over there. The green's to the right of the creek, so you're going to have to clear it. But yeah, that could be your second shot to try to get up on this green, especially considering how short it is. Really not that difficult, that's for sure, to try to green this green in 2. So definitely an attack hole, I'm saying. Apart from that, yeah, the further right you go, the more yardage you're going to shave off this hole. So for just all reasoning here, miss to the right. And then once you do get up to the green, there's a bunker short left and short right, and then that's all you'll have to worry about. And you actually have a fair amount of backboard support behind the green too. So there's that. So without further ado, let's give it a rip. Big old driver in hand, and thank you guys again for watching another video. And we will see you next time on the back 9 of this magnificent course out here. And until then, have a great day.
Nice bird, Glen Bob.
Yes.
Birdie. Beach birdie.
Sandy bird.
Sweet. No dice.
Just cause.
All right, checking it out.